Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan Tim.
Are you familiar with what OnlyFans is?
Heard of it.
It's basically given everybody who wants to sign up for it the power to become their own pornographic auteur and earn money doing it. So you would start a page and post content. Could be fully clothed pictures, could be scantily clad or fully nude pictures, or videos even, I believe.
Okay.
And
so like a regular
people pay
porn
to
site?
subscribe to just your page, and then you keep pumping out content, so people keep paying you a few measly dollars a month or whatever the fuck you charge.
So it's like a personal porn page.
Yeah.
But it's only one person on that page.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple of different porn sites that are free, and you get a variety of women. Or
Well,
men
yeah.
if you're into that.
X-Hamster, Pornhub,
Brazzers.
X-Videos, Brazzers.
Brazzers, whatever.
Brazzers. You don't use
Like,
Brazzers enough, apparently.
I don't use any of them.
No, that's you're lost.
I know Pornhub. I
There's
mean,
some fun shit
that
on
was
there.
one that a friend of mine just like, oh yeah, there's Pornhub. I just go on there. I don't, because we used to get together for LAN parties. We would, if one individual showed up, fry him. We would all pass his hard drive around because he had like just gigabytes and gigabytes of porn. And I'd take a few folders and kind of my computer and go through them later on, but I don't even have any of that anymore. But yeah, my buddy's just like, well, I don't even do that anymore. That way I don't keep it in my computer. I go to Pornhub. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not that desperate, so.
Yeah, well, because it's all the rage that it gives anyone the ability to do this, right?
Okay.
Suburban housewives who are bored and looking for some quick income are posting pictures of themselves.
Okay, that does sound interesting.
Yeah, so basically, here's a guy who threatened divorce to his wife over her OnlyFans account because he says he cannot stand the shame.
The shame, or is he just a really jealous person?
I don't know. It's one of these Reddit Am I the Asshole forum postings, but the husband's leaving his wife after she started an OnlyFans account without his permission. His permission is kind of a sticky wicket there, but his wife was always active on social media, he said. But when she wanted to start an OnlyFans account, the adult online platform, he put his foot down. But that didn't stop his wife from making the account and embarrassing her 11-year-old daughter in the process. So he says, my wife is very into social media and has a couple thousand followers on Instagram. Her friend mentioned how much she was making off of OnlyFans and how freeing it was. My wife has always been a free spirit and more open-minded than me, so she came to me with the idea of starting an OnlyFans, and once it got to a stable following, she would quit her job.
Well,
Now,
at least she talked to him about it beforehand.
this is true. He goes on, I'm strictly against this for two reasons. For my own personal reasons, which I assume have a great deal to do with jealousy and not wanting a bunch of random dudes or people that he might know seeing his wife in various states of undress.
I'm pretty sure my wife has flashed most of the people I know at this point.
Okay. The second reason was because they have kids. I told her that I'm uncomfortable dating a sex worker and that our eldest has social media and so do her friends. This would ruin her.
It's not sex work if you're not having sex.
No, that's what they call it. It's sex work. All porno is sex work now. It all falls under this massive umbrella.
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's not a matter of your
Well, I know
opinion
it's
being
not,
the
but
fact.
I'm
I'm telling you.
I disagree with that.
That's how
all
that's
I'm saying.
defined. He says the wife was determined to prove him wrong and put a poll on social media to prove that she was right. My wife wanted to prove me wrong and started a poll on her Insta stories asking if people would be interested in signing up if she made an account. Most said yes. She blocked our daughter there, but her friends saw it and already teased her about it. Our daughter screamed at her mother and nasty words were exchanged. They're not talking, and this was 2 weeks ago. My wife went ahead and made the account and already posted some pictures. Yesterday, I told her I'm filing for divorce, and I'd ask for full custody. I can't stand the shame, and our daughter is heartbroken and being bullied at school. I'm beyond pissed because I never thought my life would lead here.
Well, with the daughter being harassed at school about it, it does throw a different spin on the whole story. If this is a different just a husband and wife situation, no kids, this is a no-brainer. He's just being an asshole. But I think maybe he's trying to protect his daughter. He's only got one?
He said kids. I'm assuming they have two,
Okay.
and the 11-year-old's the oldest. So I read this, and I thought of, basically, there's the jealousy factor. I want to examine that. I don't want a bunch of random people looking at naked pictures of my wife. And if she did that shit, I would be fucking furious and hurt, because we took vows to each other. Not we took vows and, oh yeah, you're going to get this side hustle letting the internet see your tits and pussy for money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, feminists would say it's her body to choose what she does with it, but okay, so if I fucking flash my dick around, people would say that I'm a piece of shit and, like, basically cheating on my wife. I fucking know that's what they'd say, because when you're a man and you do this shit, you're a piece of human garbage. When you're a woman and you do this shit,
it's $3.99 a minute.
You're brave and liberated and you're independent and good for you. It's this fucking idiotic double standard, but I don't want people looking at naked pictures of my wife. How do you feel?
Yeah, pictures versus, like I said, my wife has flashed people. I mean, she flashed Hennepin Avenue. That's different than a long-term picture that someone could constantly look at, ogle it, and just, like, take a picture and show it to people. Yeah,
just have a sad fap to pictures of your wife's tits.
Rough the suspect for a little bit. So, I mean, would I want to do it? No, I would not like it if my wife actually went and did something like that. I don't know if I don't know. I guess I'm kind of in the same boat this guy is.
Divorce
like, if she
is pretty
do it,
extreme.
Yes and no. Like, if she won't do it and you don't want to have to deal with it, you don't have to put up with it, then that's kind of your only option. I mean, my wife can do whatever she wants. She said she wants to cut her hair really short. I says, go ahead, but I'm not promising I'm going to be attracted to you if you do.
Well,
I don't like girls with short hair.
Yeah, it's not a good look on a great many of them who try it out and then they're like, oh, look at my hair, and isn't it so great? And you're like, yes, it's so flattering. And doesn't it all make you look bigger than you are?
If you want to be, Boo from Orange is the New Black, I suppose.
Well, the thing of it is what if your wife had an OnlyFans account and she never showed her face? Just body shots. Or pictures of her fucking, going to town on herself with a dildo.
If it was somewhere you never saw her face and there was no way that her screen alias could be traced back to home, quote unquote, that makes it a little bit better, Anonymity of it would be cooler for me. Cooler. But there's no guarantee that, I don't know. I guess I'd have to be put in a situation.
I do still would have an issue if she's not showing her face. I'm the jealous type.
See, I'm not that jealous.
So if some other dude was fucking flirting your wife up and grabs her ass, you're not going to lose your shit?
Well, something like that, yeah. But if they're just being flirtatious or if, he's staring at her, I'm not going to get upset.
Be gone from me, you soy boy beta cuck.
It's different if he starts handling her.
Right. But let's say you're out to dinner with friends and she's wearing a low-cut revealing top and somebody gets too many drinks in them and makes a comment about her tits. How's that going to sit with you?
Well, I wasn't there when it happened, but I was I was admitted a little pissed off.
Oh, so this has happened?
Yeah. Mrs. Number One was at an after party for her Christmas party at her company a couple of years ago. And since it was no longer a company event at this point in time, it was just friends getting together after work and having a couple of drinks and sharing some laughs. The one guy apparently got really drunk and told her in front of, it was her, one or two other coworkers, and then like one of her supervisors, that he's just like, yo, I just really want to bone you, but you'd probably just get preggers. And when I asked her, she told me that, and I was just like, did you bring this up to your supervisor? Because I wasn't sure at that point in time if it was still a, quote, company function.
Right.
And so she did bring it up because that's a huge sexual harassment thing. And her boss is just like, well, yeah, I remember him saying that and everything. But unfortunately, at that point in time, it was no longer a company event.
Yeah.
He's like, so there really anything we can do. But I mean, I'll talk to him. And I don't even know if that guy works there anymore. So I was a little bit jealous when she told me that. I was just like, I mean, I knew some of her coworkers think she's gorgeous. I mean, she's got a really good personality and she can be flirty. But that was like I guess, yes, that's where my threshold was one of her coworkers saying he would love to have sex with her.
Yeah, I'd be looking to punch faces. Because here's what it boils down to with me. as much as it may sound like I talk about my wife like she's my property, that men are territorial by nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know many guys that would be cool with other dudes flirting with their wife unless they're A, a swinger, or B, a cuck. And I'm not down for that shit. And given, if the missus wanted to do a website like this and she could make a bunch of money, well, that's when you go, fuck, do I need to swallow my pride? Because what if she gets confidence out of this and she gets the money and she doesn't have to work so much and it improves her quality of life to an extent? But at the same time, it's competing with the interest that we're together and I don't want to share you. That's why I could never do like an open marriage thing. I'd fucking end up in prison for stabbing somebody 1,000 times. At some point, I'm sure the medical examiner would say, I lost count of how many wounds there were on the body. Even like old boyfriends of hers, if it gets brought up. Like it shouldn't bother me, still fucking bothers me.
When I hear about her ex-boyfriends and stuff like that, or her ex-husband and everything, it doesn't really bother me. Because I don't put a sexual connotation on the relationship that she had with other people. You know, it's just like, okay, well, she was with that guy and they got divorced. They didn't have any kids or anything like that, you know. And like you were mentioned a bit ago, the open marriage thing, I've been in one and it was fucking hell. Because I didn't have an interest in doing it, honestly. I didn't want to go out and date other people or try to.
But she did.
Well, yeah. I think she'd been planning that for quite a long time when she asked me. She caught me in a moment of weakness where I was like, well, these are my chickens coming home to roost because, you know, I cheated on her so much in high school.
Okay, so here's where it boils down to brass tacks. People were like, oh, you know, you always ask, am I the asshole? And he asked his wife not to. And he says he put his foot down, which is issuing an ultimatum. And then she fucking took a poll and then did it anyway, knowing how he felt. That's very inconsiderate of his feelings. But is he the asshole for saying to her, absolutely fucking not, I don't want to see that shit or know about it, and our daughter, what's going to happen to her at school? I would say he is not the asshole because he's thinking obviously of himself, but of their children, and that's a big fucking deal. Imagine being a kid that's in adolescence or a tween, you know, the preteens, and people know that your mom has naked pictures on the internet. All it's going to take is one of these kids to say something to one of their dads who finds the fucking account and pays the small gate fee to see the pictures, and next thing you know, what if the school kids get a hold of the pictures? There's no coming back from that. You're in switch schools territory then, because that's so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. Like I said, at this point, I don't think he's really being an asshole. I mean, one could argue it's just like, well, is he being considerate of her feelings? Like you were saying, empowerment makes her feel good. She gets satisfaction from it. But, you know, there's kids in play here, and that needs to be a bit of a concern.
Going back to what people said to him, it's a really poor move to just disregard her family like that, someone commented. It does feel like she was more concerned with her own feelings than her husband's or her children's. The next one I thought was pretty good was, that's a massive change to your family's life that she doesn't seem to respect.
Yeah.
Putting your fucking tits and pussy on the internet. And the OnlyFans account is disrespectful to you, your kids, and the marriage. Not everybody may see it like that because you may have guys that are cool with that shit. Like, yeah, honey, go ahead, do it. Just don't show your face and you'll make money doing it. Fucking perfect. Selling your pussy is the oldest fucking job there is. It is an ancient line of work. It was the first job that women could get.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, if you put it that way.
The Wild West, prostitutes.
Yeah, but they had barmaids too.
Still, before that, what did you have? Pretty much nothing for women to do that wasn't sucking a dick.
Personal chef.
Personal chef. Yeah, I don't think that was really a thing.
Caveman.
Predating.
Cook, I bring home food.
Yeah, no, we're talking like biblical times. Fucking, they talk about Mary Magdalene being a whore. But yet Jesus was her friend and apparently not fucking her, which, way to get friend zone, Christ.
Oh, he was running around with 13 dudes in the desert.
Yeah, I'd like to think that there was some sort of apostolic gangbang going on at any and all times of day.
Either that or they stopped by every village they could and they all got off their wild oats on the girls in the village. I mean, you could go either way with that.
So anyways, to summarize, I don't think that this guy is the asshole. As much as his wife has the right, and it's her body, and she has agency over what she shows to people, you're married, you're in a committed relationship, and you're a mother, and yet I get that just because you're a mom doesn't mean you stop being you, but at a certain point, if it does damage to your child's psyche or affects their life adversely in the negative, yeah, no, you should not be fucking doing that shit.
Yeah, like when we started out this, I was thinking he was the asshole, but as we discussed it, it's like I'm agreeing with you, you know? It's a better train of thought, thinking more about the whole family rather than just him and her.
Yeah. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It. That is at What Do We Call It. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show for the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.